Hi kids, you know, it's not often that life gives us black and white situations, like a classic good guy, bad guy scenario. They are few and far between. Today, however, we are dealing with one of those situations. One team is objectively really based, and the other's got Andrew Tate on it. Something I've been really autistically diving into lately is the conflict between self-improvement movement and the red pill ideology. Surface level, they hold similar ideas. Get in shape, make money, improve your mental health, except the execution of these two could not be any more different. One of these is actually really good for you, while the other's been quickly turning into an epidemic of physically strong, mentally broken men. Like, millions of indoctrinated schizoid lifters, majority of them very pro-gun. Are you starting to see the problem here? Self-improvement and red pill are two of the most important social movements going on in the West right now. In my opinion, they are the most important movement, but to each their own. I don't mean to, like, fearmonger, but I kinda do, because this is a real problem. How far away do you think we are from the last straw breaking the camel's back and sending the red pill movement into an absolute frenzy? Like, what happens if Tate gets convicted, Trump loses another election? There are a ton of singular events that could trigger a bunch of really strong people to go absolutely off the deep end and taking it out on the rest of society. And currently, there isn't really a group loud enough to stop this from happening. There isn't yet, at least. I think with the rise of the, like, genuine self-improvement movement, there might be a chance at reeling red pill back into reality and off the one-way train wreck to self-destruction they're on right now. This is a problem that affects everyone, big and small. It could be a violent act committed by some red pill schizo that makes its way to primetime news. It could be a friend or family member falling down the red pill rabbit hole into a life of self-destruction. There's not a single person watching right now that doesn't have a horse in this race. Red pill needs to be stopped, and the only way to stop it is by giving all of those people what they actually need. It'd be easy to just call them all a bunch of dumb losers for thinking and acting the way they do, but no one acts like, that.
So you can't accuse the red pill society of holding viewpoints that are even vaguely commensurate with people who commit crimes of that magnitude. There's nothing fair about that at all. It's like painting half the population in the United States. Half the population is Republican, has been for the last 40 years. You know, they tend towards more conservative perspectives on many, many things. It has nothing to do with antipathy towards women, as unless you assume that it's only the liberals that have the best interests of women in mind, and I certainly don't believe that at all.
These people need help, and rather than pissing them off anymore, I think we should try and do the prior. So to start, we need to understand just what exactly caused millions of people to go from wanting to better themselves to a borderline hatred of women and worship to some of the scummiest men to ever exist. How exactly did red pill destroy self-improvement? Self-improvement's been a thing for thousands of years. It's changed forms more time than I can count. At one point in history, it was fighting the bigger animal to get more food. Nowadays, it's way harder because we have to actually go outside and talk to people. If our ancestors only knew how bad it was going to be for us. But our story starts not that long ago. Red pill didn't originate with Tate and his stupid Matrix analogies, didn't start with scrawny little Jordan Peterson trying to educate people on how to be strong. It's actually pretty hard to pin down when it started. It doesn't really matter though. What matters is how red pill's gotten its grip on all of these millions of people who have at least considered smashing their face with a hammer to have a hotter jawline. So you ever look outside and just think about how much your life fucking sucks? Well, you're not alone in that, and unfortunately, some terrible people are more than willing to take advantage of that. The red pill indoctrination problem works kind of like a pyramid. The ones at the top, your big red pill influencers, usually with some financial benefit to be gained by bringing more people into their hell world, start the problem. These people manipulate their followers with promises of making everything better. Well, that sounds kind of like a cult. Yes, red pill very much is a cult. Great observation at least one of you had. They get their followers to start spreading this bullshit. Important to note that this is something you should have some empathy towards these sorry red pill fucks on. They see a friend of theirs struggling and want to help them the only way they know how, by sucking them into this thing that they don't know how bad really is. The cycle repeats over and over again until it eventually meets someone that isn't buying into this shit, which is where the conflict starts, but that's not our fight to pick today. Internet spats exist and they aren't going away. Not until everyone in the world thinks exactly the same way I do. We'll get there one day, but we're gonna stop the major conflict from happening here. So So we gotta keep understanding what draws people into Red Pill to begin with, and then go over how this bastard stole and shat all over self-improvement. Let's make something really clear here. Self-improvement is not Red Pill. Self-improvement is self-improvement. Red Pill doesn't see the difference between the two. This is because Red Pill has completely hijacked the self-improvement scene and warped it into something that sounds much more sellable to broken people. The way that the world works nowadays, it's not exactly compatible with like people. Since the world's more compatible with economic growth than it is with basic human existence, it's hard to get by without going completely fucking insane. Call it a capitalism problem, call it an internet problem, the issue exists and it comes from a lot of different places. Young men haven't been doing too hot in the West lately. White boy winters just are not happening anymore, which I know the whole young men not doing good isn't exactly breaking news, but no one really wants to do anything about it. Well, there are people that claim to, as long as there's money involved, that is. Which brings us back full circle to where we were earlier. So we understand how this Red Pill shit starts now? Good. So how did they ruin self-improvement? How did they commit their biggest crime? The way that Red Pill talks about being a better person, it's not exactly the healthiest.
I've openly said to girls before, I've slept with X amount of women, I'm sleeping with like 3 at the moment, and they're like, oh my god, you player, that's disgusting, and then you end up fucking them that night.
This shit is not healthy. A lot of what they preach is an extremist take on what self-improvement is. It's good to make money, you need it to survive, but you shouldn't be crunching 24/7 to do it. You absolutely need to be in good, healthy shape. It's not something to be working yourself to death over. That kind of defeats the whole purpose, you know? Like, if you're working out because you want to look good for the hoes, and it's constantly the only thing on your mind and the only thing you're ever doing, you're not going to realize when you're good enough and always wanting to hit that extra little flaw you see in yourself. But there's always going to be another. Then boom, you hate yourself. And the cycle goes on and on and on. All while the skinny twink with no future, no morals, and all the narcissism in the world pulls the girl you've had a crush on, and you're left feeling depressed because you didn't realize that you're better than him in time. That's their whole kind of shtick. Work yourself to death in order to be better, because if you're not going to be the best you can be, the world's gonna swallow you whole. Newsflash, the world's gonna swallow us all anyway. There's no getting around that. I mean, like, AI's about to reach general intelligence soon. The economy's gonna collapse pretty soon, and it is an absolute miracle that World War III hasn't broken out yet. Escaping the Matrix ain't gonna solve any of that. There's no reason to stop trying to be the best you, it's just not right to go too hard in either direction. What Red Pill did was further push the already insane amounts of extremism in the world even further. Self-improvement is about working consistently over time to be a better person. You can trip and fall, and that's totally normal and expected of you to do so. You pick yourself up again and you keep going. You are the little engine that could, and god damn it, you're gonna do it. Red Pill is do or die, no room for error. You fuck up and it's over for you. Do not have fun, do not enjoy yourself, hell, don't even think about smiling if you're not making 6 figures in your 20s and can clutch a 3v1 in a dark alley. Then on the polar opposite side, we have the rise in hedonism in the world, which Red Pill claims to be the response to, yet some of their core values are having more money than everyone else and piping as many women as possible. You know the hedonistic thought process. Don't think about how the world's falling apart, just go and have a good time. Drink that extra shot, try that weird pill. If it doesn't make you feel good, then don't do it. If it doesn't affect you, then it doesn't matter. Self-improvement is the middle ground. It's the answer to both escaping the Matrix and it feeling good 24/7. It's the space in between, and it's getting eaten up by the other two ideologies. When one of them gets bigger, the other one does too. The answer to hedonism isn't Red Pill, and Red Pill doesn't want you to believe that. The tippy top Red Pill doesn't want you believing you don't need them to feel better. The fact's getting more and more obscured by the day. That fact being, what you actually need is self-improvement. Not to let go of everything or go take the Red Pill. What you need is to take a small step forward every day, accepting that it's okay to fall down as long as you pull yourself up again. Bad people on both sides want to use you for what they want, and the amount of them is higher every day. Red Pill is a mind virus, and the only way to stop it is by being better than it. Use self-improvement to be the person you want to be. You being the best you turns yourself into a beacon for others to follow. By making yourself better, you make the world better, and with enough people, we absolutely can save not just Red Pill, but everyone that wants to be good too.